You fell for her body, but she played you with her mind. That's how it always starts, not with love, not with connection, but with a glance that lasts half a second too long. You tell yourself it's chemistry, destiny, something divine pulling you toward her intent, but it's not. It's biology mixed with illusion. And in that moment, your logic dies quietly while your desire takes control. You don't fall in love, you get trapped. She knew what she was doing from the very beginning. She knew the kind of man you were before you even opened your mouth. She saw the way your eyes followed her movements, the way your energy changed when she smiled. Women like her have a gift, not of beauty but of awareness. They can read desire the way musicians read notes. They see what you crave, what you lack, what you dream about when you're alone at night. And then they become it. You thought she was genuine. You thought the conversations meant something. You thought the way she laughed at your jokes, the way she touched your hand when she spoke, the way she looked into your eyes was real. But every moment was scripted, not with words, but with instinct. She was building an illusion around you, layer by layer, until you couldn't tell what was real and what was performance. You told yourself she was different, more mature, more soulful, more real than the others. She wasn't like the women who play games, except she was the game. She didn't just play it, she invented it. She used silence like a weapon, softness like bait, and mystery like a drug. She never told you too much, she let you imagine. And the mind of a man in love is the most dangerous thing. It fills in the blanks with fantasies that never existed. At first, she gave you everything: attention, affection, validation. She made you feel like the center of the universe. You thought it was love, but it was conditioning. Every text, every call, every late-night conversation was a breadcrumb leading you deeper into her world. She wanted you addicted, not to her presence, but to her approval. And once she had that, she didn't need to give you love anymore. She could give you silence instead, and you'd still stay. She learned that from experience, and that a man doesn't leave when a woman pulls away. He chases harder. You were no different. Every time she disappeared, you lost your mind. Every time she came back, you forgave her instantly. You started to think of her absence as your punishment, and her attention as your reward. She made herself the source of your emotional oxygen, and you kept gasping for more. That's the trick most men never see, the moment the power shifts. It's not when you say, "I love you." It's when you start needing her validation to feel worthy again. That's when she owns you. You fell for her body, but what she really offered was a fantasy, one that you paid for with your peace of mind. She never raised her voice, never made threats. Her manipulation was quiet, subtle, elegant. She'd make you doubt yourself without saying a word. She'd make you apologize for things you didn't do. She'd talk about how she hates drama right after creating it. You'd argue with yourself in your head, trying to make sense of her contradictions, trying to believe that maybe she's just hurt, or scared, or misunderstood. But the truth is, she wasn't confused. You were, because she wanted you that way. Confusion keeps you chasing clarity, and the only person who can give it to you is her. That's how she stayed in control, not by making you happy, but by keeping you uncertain. You could never relax, you could never feel safe, you could never know where you stood. That's how she kept you hooked, through emotional chaos disguised as love. And when she finally started pulling away, you didn't see it as her losing interest. You saw it as your failure. You thought if you tried harder, texted more, became better, she'd come back. That's the beauty of her design. She never rejected you outright. She left just enough hope to keep you bleeding slowly. You were trapped in her silence, decoding every message, replaying every memory, wondering where you went wrong. But she never loved you, not the way you think. She loved what you gave her. She loved the attention, the chase, the control. She loved how your eyes changed when she walked into a room, how you'd do anything just to keep her near. She loved the power. And once she had it, she didn't need the relationship anymore. She started showing less interest. The texts got shorter, the calls stopped. Her warmth turned into ice. You thought it was stress or mood swings or that she needed space, but in truth, she was testing you. She wanted to see how far she could push before you broke. Because in her mind, the one who breaks first loses. You kept giving her everything, your time, your energy, your loyalty, your heart, and she took it all without guilt because she never asked for it. That's her favorite defense, and I didn't ask you to love me. She didn't have to. She built the conditions for it. She knew how to make you volunteer your soul. And the cruelest part? She made you believe that you were the lucky one, that you were chosen, that she could have had anyone, but she picked you. You wore that idea like a crown, not realizing it was a leash. Because the moment you start believing you're lucky to have someone, you forget to ask if they're lucky to have you too. You stopped seeing the red flags, the subtle disrespect, the manipulation hidden behind sweet words, the gaslighting masked as "I didn't mean it that way." You started rationalizing her behavior because you didn't want to lose her. That's what she counted on. She didn't need to be perfect. She just needed to be irreplaceable. And by the time you realized what was happening, it was too late. She had already moved on, mentally, emotionally, maybe even physically, but she didn't leave abruptly. No, she faded slowly, like smoke through your fingers. She wanted you to feel her absence like a ghost that still haunted your bed, your mind, your dreams. You tried to fix things. You tried to talk, to explain, to remind her of what you had. But every word you said made you look weaker in her eyes. Because for women like her, emotions are currency. The more you give, the less value you hold. And then one day, she was gone. No closure, no explanation, no goodbye. Just silence. A silence louder than any scream. And in that silence, you realized the truth. She never belonged to you. You belonged to her illusion. You started remembering things differently. The way she used to smile right after hurting you. The way she'd call you crazy when you noticed her lies. The way she'd disappear for days and come back as if nothing happened. It all made sense now. She was never chaotic. She was calculated. She knew exactly what she was doing. She played you not because she needed to, but because she could. Because watching a man who thought he was strong crumble in confusion gave her validation. She didn't want love. She wanted control. And the moment you stopped being a challenge, she got bored. That's the psychology of women like her. They thrive on emotional dominance. They don't destroy men physically, they drain them mentally. They feed on the energy of devotion, the worship, the obsession. They don't need to break your heart, and they just need to make you question your worth. And when you finally do, when you start to lose yourself trying to understand her, that's when she wins. Because now, even in her absence, she controls you. You carry her ghost everywhere. In your doubts, in your sleepless nights, in your hesitation to love again. She doesn't need to text you. You do her work for her, replaying every moment in your head, wondering how someone so beautiful could be so cold. But that's the point. Her beauty was the bait. Her mind was the trap. You fell for what you saw. She captured you with what you couldn't see, and deep down she always knew you would. Because men like you crave validation disguised as love. You crave softness without questioning what lies beneath it. You see a pretty face and call it connection. You confuse attention for affection, lust for loyalty, touch for truth. You think desire means destiny. It doesn't. It means you're vulnerable. And she saw that vulnerability the moment she met you. It wasn't your looks, your money, your charm that attracted her. It was your hunger. Hunger is easy to manipulate. She just had to offer you a taste, and you'd do the rest. You think you loved her, and can she, but love requires reciprocity. You loved the version of her that she created for you. The one who listened, laughed, and made you feel alive, but that version didn't exist. It was a reflection of what you wanted most, to be understood. And once she gave you that illusion, she owned you. Now you sit in silence, trying to make sense of it. Trying to understand how someone so sweet, so soft could turn out to be your downfall. But maybe the better question is, why did you ignore the signs? Why did you mistake manipulation for mystery? Why did you keep chasing what kept breaking you? Because the truth hurts. You didn't fall for her body. You fell for your own fantasy. She just played the part. And that's the darkness of it all. Some women don't need spells or schemes to control a man. They just need to understand his psychology, his weaknesses, his patterns, his pride. Once they do, they can own him without ever touching him. You were never in love with her. You were in love with how she made you feel. Wanted, desired, seen, but she was never looking at you. She was looking through you, studying how you respond, how you react, how she could bend your emotions until you became predictable. And once you became predictable, you stopped being interesting. That's when she began her exit. Not in a single day, but in stages. She'd become distant, vague, detached. She'd stop complimenting you. She'd start comparing you subtly to others. Not enough to offend you, just enough to make you compete. You didn't see it then. But that was her setting the stage for your replacement. And when she finally moved on, she didn't look back. Because she didn't lose anything, you did. She took your energy, your time, your confidence, and left you questioning everything. And the worst part, she'll do it again to someone else, and he'll think she's the best thing that ever happened to him too. You'll want to warn him, but he won't listen, just like you didn't. Because he'll fall for the same smile, the same softness, the same illusion. And the cycle continues. Another man falls for her body, another soul gets played by her mind. But here's the part she doesn't see. Eventually, the illusion cracks. Eventually, the men she breaks stop trusting, stop loving, stop feeling. And that's when she loses her power, because her entire game depends on emotion. The moment you stop needing her approval, she becomes ordinary. That's your freedom, not revenge, not closure, just indifference. When her texts no longer make your heart race, when her absence no longer hurts, when you can look at her beauty and feel nothing but calm, that's when you win. Because you finally understand. She was never magic. She was manipulation. And the spell only worked because you wanted it to. So the next time someone like her walks into your life, remember this: you fell for her body once. Don't let anyone play you with their mind again.